Hey y'all. Why did I say it like that? Whatever. Hey. So, at 4:30 in the morning, I came to a conclusion about myself. And that is that I'm a psychic.
Let's go. If you could gaze into the future.
You might believe me, you might not believe me. I mean, I don't believe me, but like, you never know, you know? Okay, so basically, I was sitting in my bed, that bed, at 4, which was 12 hours ago, and I was thinking about like, oh no, I'm a liar. I was sitting in my bed and I was watching a YouTube video where it's like two people who were asking each other questions, and one of the questions they asked each other had to do with deja vu. And I started like thinking about deja vu, and like a thought came to my head. I was like, holy fuck. I almost said frick and then I tried to say fuck, but whatever. And I was like, holy frick. I'm clairvoyant. So anyway, I'll get to the deja vu like topic. It's like my last topic because it's very important. But I swear to God, I'm like, I don't even know, I'm like in tune with this universe. I swear to God, like, you can believe me, you cannot believe me, you can watch this video, you cannot watch this video. I really don't care at this point. Like, I just have to like say a couple things here. Okay, so instantly I decided to like make, what is it called? A notes page. You probably can't see this, but whatever. Of all the stuff that's happened to me to like make me believe that I'm either a really good guesser or I'm actually clairvoyant. Like, I don't know. Okay. So like, let's get into the video. Okay, to start off, I need to talk about my mom and my grandma because I swear to God they're witches. My grandma is actually like legit clairvoyant, like to the point where she could walk into a room and be like, there's a fucking ghost in this house, like, I'm not staying here, there's ghosts here, like I can feel it, I'm not staying here. And my mom is like the same, and she always tells me that like it starts off when you're like, why do I keep saying like, ugh. She's always like, it starts off really, really small when you're a kid, and then it grows, and then all of a sudden you're friggin' That's So Raven. And I think it's starting. Whatever. So yeah, those two, I can't like give out details yet because it's important at the end. Like, if you want to know the tea, the real clairvoyancy of me and my mom, not so much my grandma, but me and my mom, you have to wait till the end of the video because that's when I make my last point, because that one's big. Okay, so my first point, oh yeah, okay. Sometime in 2016, when I was in grade 11, I was in a play, and we were doing like a scary play like for Halloween, and it was supposed to be a version of The Ring, you know, the girl like climbs out of the TV, whatever, but it kind of wasn't like that. It was supposed to be like The Ring meets like Scooby-Doo. I'm not explaining it. Anyway, we had a lot of people in this play, and we thought it'd be a really good idea to do like team bonding things where we go out together and do challenges or whatever. And in this play we had a lot of like older kids, like they were like 17, 18, and then we had a bunch of younger kids that were like 14, 15, even 12. And we were like, okay, well, we can't watch like a horror movie because we have like kids here. Like, we can't like do like really, really scary things because we have like, not kids, but like younger kids here that like, yeah. So we were like, okay, well, what can we do that won't be boring for the older kids, but won't be like incredibly terrifying for like these younger kids or whatever. And we decided to do a locked room. And we thought it'd be better to carpool to the locked room, which helps with like team bonding or whatever, and carpooling saves gas. So we were thinking, oh great, we were thinking. And I was carpooling, there were 3 of us in the car. Should I say his name? I mean, everyone knows, but I don't want to say his name because it's weird. Okay, let's say his name is Cody. We're gonna call him Cody. I just pulled out some hair. So Cody was driving the car. I was in the passenger seat, and I'll say Nisa was in the back seat. She'll know. She knows who this is. Anyway. Okay, so Cody's sitting in the front seat, and he's telling us this story. Really? Really? Cody's sitting in the front seat, and he's telling us this story. He's like talking about, because he was in grade 12, and I was in grade 11, and so was Nisa. But he was in grade 12, and he's talking about university and what he's going to be doing and what he wants to do in university. And he started talking about his English class, and he was like, oh, I finally got the mark that I needed for English. It was really, really great, and I'm glad I could get into my program because it required a really high English mark. And we were like, oh, that's really good, like, good for you. And then I turned to him and I was like, you got an 86, right? And he looks at me, he's like, how did you know that? I don't know how I knew that. How did I know that? Because I feel like when he was telling his story, something in my head was like, stop, he got an 86. And I just like blurted it out. I was like, you got an 86, right? And he was like, well, yeah, but how did you know that? I didn't tell you that. I have no access to his grades. We barely even talk like in real life, so I wouldn't even know anyway. He didn't tell us like what grade he's gotten. I've never known how well he's done at English ever. And I just off the top of my head was like, yeah, he got an 86. Clairvoyancy. So for the next story, I guess it's to do with guessing again, but like in a different way, like a more specific way, and something that's a lot harder to guess than a percentage. So I had just met this guy. We'll call him, I don't know, Daniel, whatever. And we were talking, and I don't know how we got to this, but it was maybe like the first or second day that we were talking. So like I didn't really know like a lot about him, and he didn't really know a lot about me. Like we knew nothing. So we were just like having a conversation. In my head, I'm like, he looks like a September baby. Yeah, he looks like a September baby. And he's like telling me this story. I'm not listening to the story at all. Like I'm like, well, he's like typing it in like paragraphs. I'm barely even paying attention. I cut him off and I text him, you were born in September, right? Keep in mind, I don't have him on Snapchat. I don't have him on Facebook or like anything that would like tell me what his birthday was. Like I only have him, like I have his phone number and I have his Instagram. I don't have his Snapchat. I don't have his Facebook, nothing. His Snapchat and Facebook are not on his Instagram timeline. Like I didn't like super sleuth my way to like find this information, which I could, but I didn't. I just knew like off the top of my head, I was like, you're born in September, right? And he like stops typing. Obviously like backspaces everything, I'm assuming. And then he's just like, yeah, how did you know that? And I was like, I don't know, I just had a feeling you were born in September. Like, just felt like you were born in September. I don't know. And then he was like, that's so freaky. And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm clairvoyant. And he's like, okay, then guess the date. And I'm like, September 15th. And I shit you not, he literally like doesn't type, doesn't respond, literally calls me. I pick up the phone and I'm like, hello? And he's like, how the fuck did you know that? And I'm like, I don't know, I just guessed. I'm just clairvoyant. I'm a fucking psychic. This is so stupid. Nobody's gonna believe me. Anyway, but like, that's two things where in hindsight, I could just be really good at guessing things. Like, I could just be really good at guessing things. Like, at this point, you could just say, okay, you might just be really lucky and, like, good at guessing things. And I would agree with you. Like, I could just be good at plucking things out of my mind and hoping for the best. That could be the answer. Until I tell you the next stories. So, like, buckle in, sister. Strap in and listen. Next one, texting friends. Oh, texting friends. Okay, I know. Okay, this one. This one has nothing to do with guessing and is pure clairvoyancy, I swear to God. So, I have this thing where I know when someone is going to text me. It sounds weird. It kind of doesn't make sense, but like, let me explain it. And this happens to me a lot. So if I'm having a conversation with someone, and this doesn't happen like someone's gonna text me to start a conversation. Like if we're already having a conversation, I know when someone's gonna text me. Let me explain. So I'll be having a conversation with someone and it's like a long conversation, like not like a, hey, are you here? Yeah, bye. Like that's dumb. Like an actual conversation, we're talking about things that are like important or whatever. And then there'll be like a period of time where like I start doing something or they start doing something and our conversations are like more sporadic and there's like a longer distance, a longer period between text and respond, you know? So a lot of the times what'll happen is I'll text someone, they'll text me, text within like seconds. Because that's all we're doing. Like, we're just chilling, sitting around, just texting, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then they'll start doing something and their text will be more sporadic. And then I'll start doing something and my text will be more sporadic. And then it'll get to a point where our brief period between text messages are longer than like 2 minutes because we're doing something else. So like, I will be like, hey, well, I'm kind of bored. Let me start, I don't know, making fucking lunch or something. I'll start making myself lunch. And that takes like a bit more time. I've already texted this person and I'm like making myself lunch. My phone is near me, yeah, but I haven't been on it. Like, I'm not on it at all. I'm probably watching like Netflix or YouTube on like something else. But I'm not on my phone. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not on Instagram. My phone is near me, but it's not on my person. Okay? And then I'll be making lunch, whatever, completely forgotten about the conversation that we were just having. Like, I'm not even waiting for this person's response anymore. Like, let's say it's been like an hour since they texted me. So I'm like, I've forgotten about our conversation at this point. I'm not waiting for your response. I'm not waiting for you. Like, I'm not consciously thinking about our conversation. And I'll be doing stuff. And then all of a sudden, my brain will just be like, stop, check your phone. I swear to God, like, you think I'm joking, but I'm not. But I'm not. I swear to God, my literal brain will just be like, stop what you're doing, check your phone right now. And the second that I look over at my phone, the person who I was texting prior will send me a message. If that's not clairvoyancy, I really don't know what is. And it happens to me all the time. Like, I swear to God, like, I'll look at my phone and it'll be like, so-and-so is typing. And I'm like, it's so weird. It's so weird. But I don't know. Take with it what you will. Take it with a grain of salt. Believe in it. Don't believe in it. I don't care. That's story number 3. I have 3 more. Yeah, I have 3 more. And this is where they're getting like, they're starting to get heavy. Like, I started off with like the baby shit where you could like cancel it out with like region with reason or whatever, but now we're getting into the like, you can't really use reason for these ones. They're just happen. So my next point, actually my next 2 points are connected but in separate ways. And you'll get what I mean in a second. So they both have the same overarching idea, but they're 2 different scenarios that are quite important. The second one being more important than the first. This one doesn't have a topic because I don't really know how to describe it, but you'll know what it is when I'm done, I guess. So I have to tell a little story about this. About 5 or 6 months ago, my friend Delaney and I had this person that we knew who we were like, oh, he's really hot, like, let's talk to him, whatever. And like, we were following each other only on Instagram, no other social media, nothing else. Don't have his number, don't know anything else about him, only Instagram. Keep that in mind. Only Instagram, nothing else. Don't even know this person like personally in my life. Only Instagram. We both followed him and like we talked to him every once in a while, but it wasn't like they weren't like substantial conversations. Substantial? They like, the conversations didn't have any substance. Like, they were just like conversations, you know? And then one day he just like, we just stopped talking. Like, we were just done. Like, you know when you never know that it's the last time you talk to someone until they talk to you again, and then you're like, well, what the fuck, we haven't talked to him forever? Yeah, it was like that. Like, we just stopped talking, and I don't even know what day it was. Like, I don't know. But I think it was in February. I don't know. It was months ago, like a long time ago. And then this week, y'all don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me, but I swear to God, this is what happened. This week, I was literally scrolling through Instagram. Keep in mind, this person hasn't posted in 5 months, hasn't done anything in 5 months. I don't have any of their other social medias. I know nothing about them. I've completely forgotten about them in my life. Nothing. I know absolutely nothing about them. And I don't get those weird like Instagram notifications from their account where it's like, so-and-so hasn't posted in a while, check out their fucking account or whatever. Didn't get that. Nothing. I'm scrolling through my timeline. Scrolling. And I just like stop. And I'm like, how's blank doing? Let's call him Steve. Let's call him Steve. I'm like, how's Steve doing? You don't have to believe me. You really don't. The literal second that I think, how is Steve doing? I get a notification on my Instagram that someone new has followed me. Again, you don't have to believe me. And I like click on the little like heart thing for who's followed me. And it's fucking Steve. It's Steve. He made a new account and he followed me. And he followed me the second that I said, how's Steve? You don't have to believe me, but it really happened. I almost threw my phone across the fucking room. Holy shit. Anyway. So Steve texted me. He's like, oh, hey, I lost the password to my other Instagram. That's why I haven't been on it. So I have this one now. I nearly lost my fucking shit. I nearly lost my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? Clairvoyancy. Again, you do not have to believe me, but it happened. What was the next point? Oh, okay. The next point, I have no words. I have absolutely no words. This scared me. I haven't told anyone about this. All of my other clairvoyant things I've told people about, but this one I was waiting to make this video. Like that, I literally was like, no. As soon as this happened, I was like, no, this video is going up. Like, no way. No fucking way. Like, I was like, I'm not telling anyone about this. Like, this video is going up. Oh my god. Okay. So you guys know about Cameron Boyce, right? And he died a month ago. You don't have to believe me. I swear to God, you don't have to believe me. But I guess indirectly I knew Cameron Boyce had died before he fucking died. Like, I kind of knew Cameron Boyce was dead before he had died. That makes no sense. But you know what I mean. So, about a month ago, Cameron Boyce died. Okay? The night before he died, I was just chilling in my bed. Nothing bad happening, just relaxing, feeling good, didn't do anything, wasn't really on my phone. Literally, I don't watch anything he's ever in. I mean, I do, okay. So Cameron Boyce, I used to watch Jesse and Grown Ups and what else has he been in? All the other little stuff he's been in and the Descendants trilogy or whatever. I've seen those. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. But Cameron Boyce is that actor. I'm like, yeah, you're really good and you're really nice or whatever. You seem like a really good guy, but I'm not. I mean, I'm a fan, I guess, but I'm not a diehard fan who would always want to know what you're doing and think about you all the time. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a fan that's oh, Cameron, I'll be watching a movie and then he's in it. I'm like, oh, hey, that's Cameron Boyce. Cool. And then I keep watching the movie and that's it. I don't follow him on anything. I don't know anything about Cameron Boyce. I haven't paid attention to his acting career at all. I just see him in things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So, it's been months since I've seen Cameron Boyce in anything, thought about Cameron Boyce, whatever. And I go to bed. You don't have to believe me. You know. I wake up. And you know how there's 3 seconds right after you wake up where your brain's what the fuck is going on? And you're trying to figure out your life and then you're oh, okay, we're good. After those 3 seconds had passed, my brain instantly went, check your phone, look up Cameron Boyce. You think I'm joking, but I'm not fucking joking. I literally woke up and I was like, Cameron Boyce, I should look him up. This was the day that he fucking died. The day he died. Dead. And I hadn't thought about Cameron Boyce, had nothing to do with Cameron Boyce, hadn't seen him in anything in the longest time. And my brain was look up Cameron Boyce. See, originally I thought he was in the Descendants or whatever. And I like the Descendants movies. I was hey, that's pretty cool. Disney. I watched the first one. I was oh, that's good. I watched the second one. I was oh, that's cool. And I remember seeing in a news advert or something, or a notification that the third Descendants movie was coming out this summer. So in my brain, when I was thinking, oh, look up Cameron Boyce, I thought that was just my brain being like, hey, the third Descendants movie comes out today. And just, it's like, I was just like unconsciously remembering that the third Descendants movie comes out that day. First of all, the third Descendants movie didn't come out for another month. So there's that. And I didn't care about Cameron Boyce, so like, why was I thinking about looking him up? I don't know. And I literally, before I can even look him up, I pick up my phone and I get a text from one of my friends. And she's like, hey, you know that kid from Jessie that everyone had a crush on? Like, you know, the guy with the, like, freckles or whatever? Yeah, he's dead. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like, that kid from Jessie, he's dead. And I was like, like, Cameron Boyce? Like, Cameron Boyce, the kid that I'm just thinking about, he's fucking dead? And she's like, yeah, like, he's dead. Like, he died last night. And I was like, my camera died. Okay. So yeah, like, he had died last night, and I literally was thinking about him that morning before he died. And that's not the first time that's happened to me. That happened to me when Prince died too. Like, I was just like thinking about Prince. I was just like really like deep into like the 80s in my head. And I was like, oh, Prince. And then he literally died that night. And I was like, it was so... You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to think that it's like clairvoyancy and I'm just like thinking things up. But like, it happened. So my last point is like what started this whole thing pretty much. So I was talking about the deja vu thing that I had before. Okay, this is gonna be a long discussion. Okay, so the deja vu like video or whatever had me like thinking about deja vu. Anyway, so back to my mom. So her like clairvoyancy starts or like is based off of dreams and like just like dreams. Okay, I'll get to it. Dreams. And my grandma's is based off of like feelings. So like maybe mine's like thoughts. I don't know. Like it might be like feelings, dreams, and thoughts. I don't know. But basically my mom, she will, you know how like sometimes you have dreams that you remember, sometimes you have dreams you don't remember. It feels like you didn't dream, but you did dream, you just don't remember it when you wake up. My mom is obviously like that because she's a human being. But there's times where she'll have a dream and she'll remember every single, like everything that happened in that dream. And she's like, okay, I know this is important. Like my brain is trying to tell me something important. Like one time, like she'll have a dream. Like let's say, I'm being chased by crocodiles or something like that. And so let's say I have a friend who wears a pink bow all the time. And that's just like her thing. Like she just wears a pink bow. And one of the crocodiles that are chasing me have like a pink strip painted on their back. She'll be like, okay, you need to watch out. Like this person's gonna like backstab you or whatever. And then I'll literally get backstabbed by that person like a week later. Like that's how crazy it is. Like it's, I can't even describe it. Like she'll literally, I have to like keep like an open tab of all the stuff that she tells me. She'll be like, oh, I had a dream about this. And I'm like, oh, that's really creepy. I need to like pay attention to that because it'll probably happen at some point. So I just, that's her. Like that's her like clairvoyant things. And then for me, it's like you see in like the thoughts, like my brain's just like, stop this. And it's, I don't know how to describe it. But I think I'm starting to get the like dream thing that my mom has. I might not, I don't know. I'm really good at lucid dreaming. I'm very, very good at lucid dreaming. I can control my dreams like all the time. It's not something that I like had to teach myself. It's just like one day I was good at lucid dreaming. I don't know. But I used to get, like when I was younger, I used to get a lot of like nightmares and night terrors. So I guess that kind of just like forced me to be really good at lucid dreaming. Like I would literally like wake up like crying, sweating, freaking out. But now I can just force myself to wake up if I'm having a nightmare or a night terror, or I can just control the nightmare or the night terror or whatever. So there's that. But I don't have them anymore. Anyway, but why I think I might be getting the whole dream thing is I remember none of my dreams. I used to when I was a kid, like remember my dreams all the time. Like I used to remember every single dream I had as a kid. They're all stocked up in here still, but after this incident that I'm going to talk about, I stopped remembering any of my dreams. Literally, like, well, I mean, every once in a while I have like a few that I remember, but like more often than not, I don't remember dreams. Like I'll have like one or two where I'm like, well, that's crazy, and then I forget it like a week later or something. Like if I don't write it down, then I'm going to forget it. Like it's that's it. But sometimes I'll remember that I have like distinct dreams that always stick with me, like always, like will be with me for the rest of my life, and they're not going anywhere. And for the most part, I don't remember my dreams, which if I dream, I don't really sleep, so. So my mom was like telling me about all of this clairvoyancy stuff one night, and that night, for the first time in years, I not only had a nightmare, but I also experienced sleep paralysis. And we all love a good sleep paralysis demon. Am I right? But anyway, I've told this sleep paralysis story like a bunch of times. The only reason I've told it a bunch of times is because it really freaks me out. Like, I wasn't thinking about it when the dream was happening, but after I had woken up from the dream, I was, woo. So, okay, picture this. My room, but it wasn't like this. Like, before I had like a completely different setup. I didn't have that entire like back thing back there. It just had like a mirror. I just had a mirror back there, and then my bed was facing that way, so it was like flipped, and it wasn't this bed, and that wasn't there. Basically everything else is the same, kind of, but not really. Anyway, so I'm trying to explain this. So, you know how regular human beings sleep with all of their like doors closed because you're a psychopath if you sleep with your doors open? I sleep with all my doors closed, and when I turn the lights off, my room is like a bright blue. It's like, it has like a blue hue in the room because I have an alarm clock that is blue and like lights up blue, like the numbers are blue. So it makes like half of my room blue and the other half is just like pitch black. So it's kind of like creepy in a sense because there's like a lot more shadows, and you're looking at things and you're like, is that a person? Or is that just a shadow of like some other object? You angle it a specific way, everything in front of it will be blue, obviously, but everything behind it and everything kind of to the side is going to be like dark, like pitch black. So it used to be right here. I don't know if you can like see that, but it used to be like right here. I had like a bedside table, and it would shine this way. So like everything this way would be blue, and then stuff over here would be like dark, like pitch black, and then like that corner of my room, that specific corner of my room, this is important if you can see that corner, that corner of my room would be black. And in my sleep paralysis dream, it was me standing in that corner of my room watching myself sleeping. So like, well, so I was in bed sleeping, but I was also standing over there watching myself sleep. But my thing is, I don't actually know if it was me watching myself sleep or if I had like taken on the form of some spirit demon watching myself sleep, you know? And so if you've ever had sleep paralysis, you know that you can't move. You can't move, you can't wake yourself up. You just basically have to wait for it to be over because your muscles have like spontaneously atrophied or whatever, and you just can't move. You just have to get through the sleep paralysis. The weird thing about my sleep paralysis experience was I could move, but I couldn't consciously control my movements. And it was like, so I was sleeping, and then whenever I would like shift over and move like as you normally do while you're sleeping, I would see myself do that exact movement, if that makes sense. So it was as if someone else was watching me sleep, but I was watching me sleep. Does that make sense? Anyway. So there's that. And that, I guess I wasn't really paying attention. The me that was watching me sleep was kind of also having their own kind of sleep paralysis, I guess. Like, I couldn't move. I was just like standing there like brain dead, just like watching myself sleep, like nothing going on, like didn't move an inch, didn't move my head, didn't shift, nothing. Just staring there, watching myself sleep. And then the weird thing about it though was this door over here is the door that leads to like the rest of my house. And I had this like feeling that there was something behind the door and that I shouldn't open it. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because if you've seen Insidious, that's why it's like one of my favorite like movie franchises, because like I relate to it, I guess. I don't know. But like if you've seen Insidious, the fucking kid, like he goes to bed and then he opens the door and he like opens the door to the fucking spirit realm, and like all the spirits like come into his house and like try to kill his family, you know? So that could have happened to me. But I remember like thinking, I was like, there's something behind that door, but I'm not gonna open it. And thank God I didn't open it. Like my conscience was like, dude, don't fucking open that door. Like, But anyway, going back to like the main point of this thing, when people mention deja vu, for normal people, they don't know why, like they don't know the source of their deja vu. Like you see deja vu and you're like, oh, I've seen this before, but you don't know like when you've seen it before, how you've seen it before. If like most people don't know if it was like a vision, if it was a dream. They just say, oh, I've seen this before, like I saw this, like deja vu, I've seen this. For me, however, when I get deja vu, keep in mind, I don't remember most of my dreams. Keep that in mind. Like most of the dreams that I have, I do not remember them like at all. But when I get deja vu, like when I see something that I've seen before, I'm like, oh. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I have deja vu. And then I'm like, my brain instantly is like, oh, I dreamt about that a week ago. Like I have deja vu. I dreamt about that a week ago. Like I instantly remember like, oh, it was September 16th and I dreamt about this. Like that was my deja vu. Like I'm seeing deja vu and I'm like, oh, I dreamt about that 3 days ago. Ow. And you're gonna tell me that I'm not psychic. This is so stupid. But just like think about that. Like when you get deja vu, do you instantly like, oh, I remember where I saw this? No. But when I get deja vu, I'm like, oh, I saw that in a dream that I had a week ago. Every single time, without fail. Like not even like every once in a while I'm like, oh, I dreamt about that. No, it's every single time without fail. I know that I dreamt about the deja vu that I'm experiencing. And it honestly gets to the point where sometimes I'm not sure if my dreams, I can't differentiate between like dream and reality sometimes. Like I have a lot of memories in my head and I'm not sure whether they're real memories or if I've dreamt about them or if they haven't happened yet or anything. So when I'm talking to people and I'm telling them things, sometimes they're like, Shanice, that never fucking happened. Like I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, yes, it did. Like you were there. You saw it happen. But like, did they see it happen or was I just dreaming about it? You know, like everything just like blends into one thing. I can't describe it. Like it's not something that I can describe, okay? But yeah, I think, was that my last point? I probably have more, but these were the, I did talk about, okay. Yeah, I probably have more, but these are the only ones that I could think of on the fly at 4 a.m. before I went to bed. If I think of more, or if like my friends have more examples where we knew I was a fucking psychic, then I guess I'll make a part 2. But like I needed to bring this to light because it's important. It's important. And I also needed a video to post, so I think I'll add this to like spooky season because I guess it's like kind of spooky. Yeah. If anyone wants their fortune told, just kidding. If anyone doesn't want to believe me, if anyone wants to debunk me, go right ahead. Like, if you want, I don't know. If there's a way to really rationalize this, then you can rationalize this. But I can't rationalize this. Okay, I'm done. I'm tired. Oh my god, my legs. Okay.